Alan! 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 So if it wasn't obvious, we broke up. Alrighty then. So for those of you who don't know, I started dating this girl from Denmark about maybe 6 months ago now. What month is this? October? Around Valentine's Day. So I started dating her about 8 months ago. I believe we started talking in January. We didn't really become official until I think February. I think Valentine's Day is kind of what I keep in my mind is like the day we became official, even if it wasn't. So we didn't really start dating until after a month of talking, I believe, because I like to give people time and fill them out and see if they're what I'm looking for. And I don't want to waste time, right? Nobody wants to waste time. So it started to look like it was going to become serious. It wasn't just a physical thing. We weren't just having sex. I don't even know if we had had sex at the time, but it was clear that it was not just a fling on either side. So since that was the case, I have rules, as I think a healthy adult should have when you're getting into a relationship. I had rules and I had expectations. So if I'm going to get serious with you, I want to know if you're keeping in touch with any of your exes or any people you used to mess with. I don't say if you're still doing things with them, because that leaves room for a lot of stuff. You don't have to be technically doing something with the ex to still have the ex in your life. You know what I mean? It's a rule that I have when I'm getting serious with a girl. I like to know if you're still involved in any way, shape, or form, or attached in any way, shape, or form to your exes or guys you did things with before. Because if you are, I see that as a problem and I don't want to get into it. I'm not saying you're wrong for it, but I think if you believe that's okay, then me and you are gonna be incompatible. Call her Kirsten. Kirsten was like the perfect girl in every way. One of the most beautiful girls you've ever seen in your life. Athletic, sexy as I don't know what, fun-loving, adventurous, down to do whatever, good at a lot of stuff. I could take her to the ice rink and I wouldn't have to babysit her. She knew what she was doing. She had her own opinions about things, which I liked a lot. She didn't really play a lot of games in the beginning. She didn't play a lot of games. Like if you're from LA, you know a lot of LA girls play a lot of games. She didn't really play games like that. If she wanted something from you or wanted you, she was not shy about saying those things. Yeah, she was just like very fun loving. She could dance, just loved to have fun. She had to be one of the most attractive girls I'd ever been with. She was really down for me. Like, I don't know if you know what that means as a guy or a girl, but she was just very down for me. You know what I mean? Like I probably could have asked her to get a tattoo of me and she would have. Not that she's crazy or impulsive or anything like that, but that's just how down she was. She even met my mom. I don't know about you, but you don't get to meet mom if you're just any girl. You don't get to meet mom. So naturally, with her being such a perfect match, we began to develop feelings really, really, really quick, both of us on both sides. But it's not like we moved too fast. We didn't move too fast. So back to my rule. One night, I asked her if she was keeping up with anybody or if she was still involved with anybody she had been with before, ex-boyfriends, hookups, whatever. She told me no. She said she had spoken to her ex from her country because he was, I'm not gonna put his, no. She said she had spoken to her ex from her country because he was apparently threatening to like hurt himself after they fell out a year prior, and they had kept in touch just as a kind of like a consolation thing. I didn't buy that all the way, but given the situation, I kind of felt like I had to understand it. And then I think a day or two later, she actually texted him and told him like, hey, I don't know if I can keep talking to you because I'm getting serious with this other guy, and you know, it's unfortunate what you're going through, but I have a life and this is what it is. And she showed me, I saw it. So I'm like, damn, perfect just got more perfecter, you know? So fast forward, we go out, we play ping pong, we play air hockey. Of course I beat her because I'm better. And we just have a really great time every time we go out. Every time we go out, we had a great time. She had this thing where she would put a lot of salt on her fries, and I don't like salt in my fries. So I don't know, we kind of balance each other out in a weird way. I make fun of her for it, but we still balanced out. Like I ate my pizza, but I left the crust, and she ate the crusts. You know what I mean? Okay, whatever. She beat me at air hockey a few times, but I was still better. But it was good. It was competitive. It wasn't like you just go out with some girl and she's like, oh my God, oh, you're playing too hard. Oh, no, we were playing like full out Dragon Ball Z battle air hockey, and it was crazy. These were some of the first things we did together, so they were very special to us. They became like our thing, you know what I mean? Every couple has their song. This was like our thing. She worked a lot and I was working, editing, filming videos. So whenever we had time to spend together, it was great. So when we could make videos together, it was even better because we got to like do work, have fun, and then hang out after. It was like 2 birds, 1 stone. So red flag number 1, she would go out every weekend and she would get drunk every weekend. She got in places free because she's a super attractive blonde girl and she knew promoters. And I didn't mind that she went out. I really didn't mind that she went out. I honestly didn't mind that she got drunk. I minded that she went out regularly, got drunk regularly, and was around all these guys who wanted to have sex with her regularly, including the promoters she knew as friends. It was really more me being uncomfortable that she was so comfortable with other guys. And don't get me wrong, she was going out with her girlfriends as well, so I get it, you know, girls' night out, whatever, I understand that. But at the same time, I understand that there's a certain level of comfort that you should have with other people if you're in a relationship, and she far exceeded that level. Whether it was kisses on the cheek or, you know, holding hands or brushing up against somebody or fondling their hair, you name it, you name it. It was too comfortable in my eyes if you're in an exclusive relationship with me. But I mean, I gave the benefit of the doubt. When I was bothered, I brought it up, and she assured me they're just friends, they're just promoters, they don't mean anything. Like everybody's heard that story at some point in time, but they're just friends, they're just my promoters. I don't even talk to them. I only see them when I go out. You know, she often spoke about not remembering things when she got too drunk. Like, you go to the club, you get drunk, you black. I've never been drunk in my life, so I can't relate. I've had concussions, so I know what it's like to have memory missing. I didn't choose to have a concussion. You go to a club, you get drunk, you black out, right? And then you tell me, oh man, I don't remember what happened last night. So in my mind, I'm like, well, how do you know you weren't making out with these promoter guys that want to have sex with you? Oh no, I didn't do that. I'm sure I remember I didn't do that. And I'm thinking, like, how do you remember if you don't remember? How do you know? How do you know, right? Because I know guys. I know a lot of guys. They will make out with a girl who's stumbling over drunk. They don't care. But she says, of course, I wouldn't do that. I would remember if I did something like that. And I'm starting to doubt more and more. But again, I give her the benefit of the doubt. So time goes by. Every weekend comes up. She's out clubbing without fail. And of all the girls she's out with and of all the guys they're around, she's always the one who is either touching up on some of the guys or brushing up against the guys or hugged up with some of the guys or kissing some guy's cheek or playing with some guy's hair, or you like dancing and then some guy's right there trying to touch her hand or something like that. It's always her. So one guy kept showing up in particular, and I asked about him. I said, what's the deal with this guy? I keep seeing him. You know, what's the story there? She said nothing. He's nobody. Later sometime I asked her to send me a video, like a little sexy video or something, you know, her dancing, twerking, whatever. And she sent it to me, and I was like, damn, this is nice. But she was over there, and somebody was holding the camera here. So I'm like, oh, that's a cool video. Who recorded it? Who recorded the video? And she said, my friend TT, right? My friend TT, who's the girl who I could hear, but I could also hear another person. I'm like, well, who's the other person? Who's the other person's voice? It's the guy's voice. She's like, oh, that's let's call him Julian. Oh, that's Julian. I'm like, Julian's the same dude that's in your Instagram stories? And he was recording you twerking? So apparently they had all gone to Vegas. They were filming this in the room, right? So I'm like, you guys went to Vegas, and the guy was recording you twerking, and you guys never did anything? You guys have never done anything. That's what you're sticking to. And she's like, no, we never did anything. He was just recording the video. TT was there too, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but TT wasn't twerking in her underwear in a room with this guy. So in my mind, I'm like, so you were in a room in Vegas with this guy and TT, whatever, in your underwear, twerking, and you guys have never done anything, ever? And of course, she used the defense that it wasn't just her. It wasn't just her. It was her and her friend, and then the guy, and nothing ever happened, and blah blah blah. And I said, it doesn't matter. The guy is still there. He's still a guy. He has a penis. He's straight. So I kept grilling, and I kept grilling, and I kept grilling, because I knew, you know when something's up. You know when something's off, right? I don't know how you know, but there's a feeling inside of you. You know when something's up. So I keep grilling, and I keep grilling, and I keep grilling. And eventually she says, well, yeah, we kissed once, but it didn't mean anything. It wasn't even like a makeout. It was just a kiss. It was like a friendly kiss. I'm like, friendly kiss where? You kissed on the lips and it was a friendly kiss? Yeah, it didn't mean anything. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a friendly kiss on the lips? That's what we do? So in my mind, at this point, I'm like, all right, well, we should just kind of call it quits, because that's one of my biggest red flags, and you kind of kept it from me, and you made me grill to get it out of you. So now I feel like all the things you said were true, are probably untrue. I just have to grill you to find that out. And I don't want to go, I've been through that before. I don't want to do that. So this was two of my biggest red flags colliding with each other. I don't tolerate lies, and I don't tolerate girls who are still involved with guys they messed with. It's a done deal, right? It's a wrap. Video should be over. But it's not, because she said sorry and I believed her like a jackass. She said she was sorry and could see my perspective after the aftermath. She could see my perspective after I was over everything and I was done, right? Key point to pay attention to. So basically at this point, I think the relationship is over because you've cracked the foundation, which is trust. And now I don't have that with you. So how are we gonna build anything if the ground that we're building on is already messed up? I don't think this is gonna work. We might as well call it quits and go our separate ways, but dumbly enough, I don't call it quits. I stay in it because I'm trying to be a better person, trying to be more tolerant and forgiving and all that bullshit. But yeah, I just feel like the relationship is over because at this point, every guy I see you with, now I'm gonna question it. Literally every guy I'm gonna question. And I'm not a person to keep it in my head. I'm not gonna keep it in my head. I'm gonna talk to you about it. I'm gonna say, who's this guy? Who's this guy? I don't want to do that though. A relationship should not be that. I shouldn't have to interrogate you. That's not a relationship, that's an interrogationship. I had one before, it was the fucking worst thing ever. And you don't have a relationship when you're doing that, right? Not once was I jealous. Not once did I feel inferior or insecure because these other guys were so hot or so attractive or whatever. Not once. It was about Kirsten disrespecting what she said we were going to build repeatedly, right? It was never like, I don't want you hanging around guys. It was never that. It was, who are the guys? And if there is no history with them, cool, whatever. But that's not what it was. That's what you said it was. So after that, yeah, I have a problem with you hanging around guys because now I can't trust you. So it's not about jealousy. It's more about, what the are you thinking about to do this? And why am I wasting my time? It was more like me wanting to confirm what I was already suspecting. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. Some more time goes on and we managed to have some good times here and there, but the guy thing is always in the back of my mind, always. It's never not in the back of my mind at this point. So one night she met me at the place that we played ping pong at, and she came to fondle my hair and kiss me and all that kind of stuff. And I like pulled away because either the same night or the night before, I saw her on her Instagram story again, out at a club with some guy, a guy that I had seen. I had become very familiar with all these guys. And she was doing the same shit, like fondling his hair and being super friendly, you know, being more than what I thought you should be if you're in a relationship with a guy, doing too much. And I explained to her, I'm like, I don't want you doing that for me. Or I don't want you doing that to me if you just did it for some guy. It doesn't feel special or unique anymore. Like, if the only thing that separates me from other guys is that we have sex from time to time, that's a problem for me. And at this point, I'm so confused how she doesn't see that the thing she does is flirting. I'm so dumbfounded, but at the same time, I'm already exhausted talking to her about it because I know she doesn't want to hear about it and I don't want to talk about it. And at the same time, she doesn't want to feel like she can't go out and be herself, which at the time, I guess, was a girl who needs to be the most comfortable with all the guys. That was herself. And she felt like that self was under attack. So valid concerns on both sides. I wanted our relationship to be as strong as it can be with just me and her in it, in the relationship. She wanted to defend her ability to be limitlessly comfortable with all these guys without feeling like I had a problem with it. So I guess valid concerns on both sides. Right, cool. I'm not feeling her very much at this point, if you can't tell. I'm really not feeling her. Whenever something comes up, it's a bigger problem than it should be. Guys are always a problem at this point. Whenever I think of her, I can't even think about all the good stuff. I can't even think about, you know, the perfect girl that I had. When I think about her, I think about her flirting with guys, and I want to question it. And then the little lie came up again later when she told me she wasn't hanging out with anybody she had messed with or whatever, but she was still hanging out with this guy who was apparently her best friend, and they'd made out. I'm assuming they made out. She wouldn't admit that, but I'm assuming they made out, probably did more. So when that came up again, she tells me, oh no, it wasn't a lie. That's just the way you see it. Just because you see it that way doesn't mean it was a lie. And I said, what? I didn't get angry outwardly, but in my brain, I'm like, what the f are you talking about? By definition, in any country, you lied. But her defense was, no, it wasn't a lie. You just see it that way. It wasn't a lie. I didn't lie. I just said something and you didn't like how it sounded. It wasn't the answer you wanted to hear. And I said, well, if I wanted to hear the truth, you're damn right, because you didn't tell me the truth. I said, everybody in the world generally agrees on what a lie is and what it isn't, except for you. And it was true. She justified her lies again and again the same way. And she made up some BS about, oh, you know where I'm from in my country. No, none of that. No, because I know people from your country other than you. So I don't want to hear that. That's nonsense. She always tried to use the children's defense. It was always, if I call her out on a lie and I have proof that you lied, and I'm like, hey, you lied about this, so we have a problem. Her response, her knee-jerk response was always, oh, well, what about the time you did this? What about the time you did that? We're talking about you and your lie, because even though you're saying, what about the time I did this? I've never lied to you. I've never done anything that you should even bring up at this point. I haven't. So she then had to like search for stuff that I would do wrong or something. And of course, what came up? What about that time you were asking me about these guys on my profile? I'm like, well, I'm asking you about the guys on your profile because the guys on your profile are showing up every weekend and you're flirting with them all the time. So that's why I'm asking you about the guys on your profile. But that was her knee-jerk reaction and response was always the children's defense. It's, oh, well, you did this. Oh, well, you did that. And no, I didn't. You just don't want to accept responsibility when you're wrong. That's uncomfortable for you. So you have to instead do this, point fingers at other people. It's not a good way. It's not a good or mature way to handle shit. And it baffles me because you don't have anything against me that I did wrong. Like there was nothing I did. You know what I mean? There was nothing I did that you could point to that you could even use accurately. So this is highlighting another problem. She never wanted to admit when she was in the wrong. She never wanted to own up to it until after there was an aftermath. It was always, no, you did this, you did that, stop looking at me even if I'm wrong, blah, 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 blah. But then when I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore, peace out, let's break up. Oh no, oh my God, I'm so sorry, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But after the fact, you're not sorry anymore because you weren't wrong in the first place. So I don't know what that's about. I have my theories, but I think she was just very like relationship stupid or naive. It became so tedious to try to make her understand that she was flirting with guys or that she was in the wrong. The process felt like this, right? Yo, I don't think you should be fondling other guys' hair. Well, what do you mean? They're just friends. I do that to all my friends and blah, blah, blah. We've always done that. All right, cool. Then let's break up because I'm not comfortable with that. That's indicating something else to me and I'm not okay with that. Oh my God, no, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, no, you're right. I understand what you mean now. You're totally right. I am flirting. I am doing too much. I am too comfortable. Blah, 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 blah. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yo. Why are you kissing dudes on their cheek when you're in the club with them? What are you talking about? It was just a friendly kiss. It wasn't like I kissed him on the lips. You know what I mean? He's just a friend and friends kiss each other on the cheek where I'm from in my country and blah, blah, blah. And he's just a friend and he's just a friend. All right, cool. I'm not comfortable with that. And we talked about it before. So let's end it. Yeah, let's end it. Oh my God, no, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, you're right. Oh my God, I shouldn't be kissing guys on the cheek. I should only be kissing you. And I'm too comfortable with guys. And I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so stupid. You're right. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. This was literally the pattern that lasted for I don't know how long. It was like every time we dealt with this thing, this next twin thing, which was literally the same thing as this, came up and we had to deal with that. And then that, and then that, and then back to this, and then that, and then that, and then that. And it was just a vicious cycle of bullshit. But I'm not blaming her. I blame myself for this whole thing. I'm the moron. Why? Key point here, because I stayed. Every time I stayed. So it's all on me. Biggest red flag yet. Red flag number 3. She was about to go to Texas. She was about to go to Texas with her friend for like a week or more, I believe. I forget. I think 2 weeks. They're going to go to Texas for 2 weeks. As usual, a weekend came up and she was out partying with her girls and the random club promoter guys, right? So one story on her Instagram, she posted, she was at a table. They were out somewhere. It was daytime. They were out eating. It was like her, 3 or 4 of her girlfriends, and then I guess like 2 guys. I could hear one guy and see another guy. So she was eating something like an avocado roll, something cylindrical, something you could liken to a penis. On the story she posted, it's her in the video eating something, and then there's a guy's caption that says, oh, look, Kirsten's putting the whole thing in her mouth with these emojis. And it wasn't her, she didn't record the video, she reposted it from this guy's profile. So in my mind, I'm like, what the are you thinking about? Are you serious? Are you serious? Like I said before, she was way too comfortable with other guys, and it was too much nitpicking for me to do to ever, I'd have to be there or have her bugged with a camera to actually know the truth of what happened. She probably did a lot more shit than she said she did. I'm pretty sure she did. That's too much comfort. But so the guy's profile was there. I went to his profile. I looked up his profile. I've seen that they had like interacted with each other for a long time. And then like he left plenty of flirty comments on only her pictures where she's showing skin. Like only pictures where she's like showing her ass or, you know, looking sexy. He liked all those and he commented on all those. And it was a winky face or a tongue or something flirty. And she interacted with them. Like she liked those comments. So again, at this point, full rage mode, right? I'm like, nah, I'm done, dude. I'm done. This girl is, she's playing games. She's lying. She's not what she says she is. So I asked her about him. And again, me being a moron and trying to be a better boyfriend than I'd been previously, because I've been known to have a pretty short tolerance for bullshit. Who's this guy? Why are you guys flirting so much? Why would you post that video of him saying something sexual about you? Right? Me being the interrogator again. Oh no, he's just a promoter, I swear, nothing, there's nothing, we've never done anything. No, he's just a promoter, I don't even like him. Like, no, I only see him when we go out and club. I'm like, well, you go out and club every weekend. It's like 2 times 4, it was 16 times a month. I'm kidding, I know it's 8, I know my math, folks. So fast forward a couple days, she's in Texas with her friend TT, or whatever the hell I called her. And I don't know how it came up. We were talking about something like pretty friendly. And then she's like, you know what? I have to tell you, you know that guy, the promoter guy, we actually did have sex. And then she puts like this emoji multiple times, like face palm, we did have sex. I regretted it. It was stupid. It was just one time, blah, blah, blah. Like it didn't mean anything. And I can't, I literally cannot, I don't know how to communicate to you the emotion that I had in my body when she told me that. It wasn't so much rage or anger. It was just like, I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it because I'm not like a violently angry guy. Like I would never do anything violent toward a female. I would never do that. So that wasn't it. It was like a silent, reserved rage. And I don't even know if that explains it. But when I read that, it was more like I knew it, and then you made me grill you for weeks to get this out of you at this point in time. But I'm still pissed off about it. So we're done. Like we're for sure. At this point, I'm like in full you mode. Like we're done. You know what I mean? Like you are what I thought you were. You're a liar. You're messing around with these guys. We're done. We're done. There's nothing else to say. We're done. She's crying. She's like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. I feel so sorry. I'm so stupid. Again, apologizing because there's now an aftermath. So she's going through it, right? I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. I'm just not even, I say a bunch of things about it and I call her out and then I stop talking to her. And she's still texting me like 15, 20, 30 texts, like 20 voicemails and just won't stop calling me, won't stop. And eventually she gets the idea, like I'm not gonna talk to her. So a couple days go by and then I want more information. I'm like, again, moron, right? I want more information, so I hit her back up and I'm trying to figure out like why, you know what I mean? Why would you lie about that when we clearly discussed in the beginning, tell me now so we can deal with it or we can not get into this, tell me now. So, I needed closure in my brain, and that's probably a character flaw on my part because I feel very uncomfortable if I don't have closure, right? I either have to create it or I got to get it. It's very uncomfortable for me. So after I went through what I went through, you lied to me, you did all this stuff, you lied and you hid it for so long and you made me feel like the bad guy because I was quote unquote interrogating you about all these guys and you made me feel like I was crazy. I went through that and then she went through the whole I'm sorry, blah, 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 you're right. Some days went by, I kind of cooled down. I hit her back up to see how she was doing because she was throwing up. She said she was throwing up and we talked. Again, it was me being stupid, straight up, me being stupid. There's no other explanation for it. But again, her pattern shows up. I'm so sorry because I got caught. Not I'm sorry because I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry because I got caught and now it's affecting my life in a negative way. That's what her sorry meant. That was her pattern. I guess in my mind, I'm going through things like, couples work stuff out. I actually do have feelings for this girl, so maybe it's worth fighting for her. She had sex with him before we were together. I'm again being stupid, making excuses and justifying what she did so that I could keep her around. And it wasn't, I'm not a desperate person. It wasn't like oh my God, I need her in my life. I don't know what, I think I was trying to be what I thought a better boyfriend looked like. So I heard her out, I listened to her. I was still like, in my mind, there's no way. Like at this point, I know for sure we have an expiration date. We're not gonna last. I know that for sure. So I should just stop now. But I didn't do that. Again, completely stupid. She practically begged me to take her back. I'm not trying to make her look bad. It's not about that. I'm trying to paint the picture for you. She pretty much begged me to take her back, and I did. I took her back. Because I loved the girl. I did love the girl, and I thought when you love somebody, you put up with certain shit. But I knew better, which is crazy because I do know better. Especially when there's a pattern. Isolated incidents, that's one thing. Patterns are something totally different. But in taking her back, I told her, all right, you need to block the guy. She's like, all right, cool, done. Whatever else you lied to me about, tell me right now. Clean slate, tell me right now. She didn't have anything. So we worked it out. Came back to LA, we hung out a little bit. I can't really remember what we did specifically because this incident in my mind pretty much overshadowed everything. I remember she came back, right, from Texas after being out there for like a week or 2 weeks with her friend TT. And she was running short on time. She had to go back to her country pretty soon. But when she got back to LA, apparently she was gonna go to see Ellen DeGeneres on the only day of the week that we both had free to see each other. So in my mind, I'm like, you just spent 2 weeks with this one friend. You haven't seen me. We had this big incident. We probably need to spend time together. But you're gonna go to Ellen DeGeneres instead with the same friend who, by the way, you're going to see when you go back to your home country. Okay, cool, priorities. Priorities. I mean, I get it, it's Ellen, but that's red flag number 4. She didn't prioritize us. She really didn't. I think the more I think about it now after the fact, I think I was just the guy in LA for the time that she was in LA. You know what I mean? I was just that guy who she had while she was here, and that was it. I expressed plenty of times, I don't think long distance is gonna work. If you're not gonna come back here, we probably are not gonna work out. And she would always say, oh, I wanna come back to LA. I really wanna come here and go to school and blah, blah, blah. I wanna do this, I wanna do that. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, now it's time to start making plans for it because you're about to go home. Never made plans. She never brought it up. She never said anything, again, unless I pressed her on it. And then if I said, oh, hey, you're not prioritizing us, I'm not feeling it. And then she's like, oh my God, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I could be doing more. Again, pattern. Somehow we managed to get back to semi-decent place. Like it's her last week or 2 in LA. We're not doing too bad. I'm still remembering everything that happened and I'm still very cautious about her and other guys. Again, she says she wants to come back to LA. She has to go back home, which I understand. But I don't press. I just, I throw it out there, but I don't press it because I understand it's very emotional with her going home. The last night we spent together was really sad. She stood outside of her host mom's house and just cried and couldn't bring herself to go inside the house. So we hugged and she cried for a long time. Eventually I had to leave because she wasn't going to be able to walk away. So that was sad. Like that face of her crying is always going to be burned in my brain. That was the last time I saw her in person. She really was like a really cute crier. I don't know if y'all know, but some people are ugly crier. Like I think I'm an ugly crier. She was a really cute crier. That was really tough. That was tough for both of us, but I was optimistic that I would see her again, Moron, right? So fast forward, she's back in Denmark. We talk, we FaceTime. She's adjusting to her first week. I vaguely bring up, like, when do you think you'll be able to come back? And she's like, I don't know, I still gotta adjust. I just got back. And I'm like, all right, cool, I understand that. So about week 2, same thing. Texting, FaceTiming, DMing, whatever, talking when we can, adjusting a little more, hanging out with some of her friends. And of course, the friends she's posting, herself hanging out with her, a bunch of guys, right? So she's hanging out with these guys. And I asked her again, like, oh, hey, any progress on when you can come back or any idea? Oh no, I still gotta adjust. I'm like, okay. All right, cool. So like week 3.5, she has a job. She's working regularly. She's hanging out with her friends. She's posting stories about like going out different places and having fun and her family. So to me, it seems like she's pretty well adjusted. Hey, so any idea when you think you might want to come back? Oh no, I'm not really well enough adjusted yet. I just got back like a month ago. And at that point, I'm like, all right, well, you have a job. You have a friend group that you're hanging out with pretty often and drinking with. You and your family seem to be on good terms again. So it seems like you're pretty adjusted. It seems like you're adjusted enough to take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day to look into airline information or to look into a schedule, something. Again, red flag, she didn't prioritize us. Again, it's me being a moron though, all right? Can't stress that enough. So somewhere in all this nonsense, I'm starting to make other YouTube videos, and one of them was the blonde girl at UCLA where she took her top off. She's like a bikini model, and sometimes she does nude work, so it made perfect sense for her to do this video with me. I know I'm gonna win the video. I know I'm gonna win the contest, right? So I'm like, yeah, we can do that. But prior to that video, I hadn't posted in a long time because I was in a funk because of the stuff going on with me and Kirsten. Because me and Kirsten are still together, I tell her like, hey, there's this girl, this is what she does, this is my idea for the video. This is how it's gonna go down. This is what the thumbnail is gonna look like. I'm assuming I'm not gonna touch her. I'm not gonna flirt with her. I just want you to know. I want to be heads up with you or be as transparent as I can with you. All right? Because we're still together. I'm still trying like a moron, and I want you to know. So I told her about that. She didn't She wasn't super excited about the idea, but she understood I set out to make videos. So if you guys saw that video, you noticed like this girl, there was zero flirting between me. I didn't flirt with her. Well, I barely touched the girl. So that's why. The same thing with the Steal Your Girl video. Like any video that there was a girl involved with and I was still talking to her, I told her about it. So that's me still trying to be like a, you know, a good boyfriend and trying to work on us. Week 4, week 5, I'm really getting tired of always seeing you hang out with these dudes, especially now that we're long distance and I can't hang out with you. And especially since we've established that I was right when I was questioning you about hanging out with guys out here. I'm really tired of seeing you hang out with these guys who I'm sure want to have sex with you. And then when I ask you what's the deal with you coming back, you tell me you haven't adjusted. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? You're over there, I'm over here. You have your priorities. Let's call it quits. Let's a wrap. Let's call it quits. This isn't gonna work if you won't put 10 minutes into figuring this out. 10 minutes a day out of your 24 hours. I had looked up Airbnbs in her country. I had looked up plane tickets. I was close to booking a plane ticket, but I had some other stuff going on. I had done so much work to see that she had done none of it was like spitting in my face. It was like spit in the face. So I'm like, I'm done, right? But you, as you guys have seen what happens when I do that, she goes, no, I'm so sorry. No, okay, I'm sorry. You're right. I am adjusted and blah, blah, blah. More time goes by and I'm getting more and more withdrawn because the distance mixed with the time difference, mixed with her bullshitting, mixed with seeing her with the guys, mixed with a whole bunch of things. I'm just like it doesn't feel the same. The lie from Texas is still lingering. Her flirting with, I can't even think of her without seeing her in my brain with other guys. You get what I'm saying? And then she's on Instagram liking all these dudes like shirtless pictures and commenting on guys who are leaving flirty comments. I'm like, bro, what are you thinking about right now? What are you thinking about? All of this stuff is amplified and it's a problem for me, especially now because of all the lies you told and the things you hid from me concerning you and other guys. This is all a big problem for me. It's all amplified by the fact that you're over there and by the fact that you lied about this kind of stuff before. We talked less and less, but when we did talk there, we still had feelings for each other. It just wasn't the same on my part. I believe like some months passed by and still no plan from her to come out here and see. And I gave her like one last chance. I'm like, all right, you know what, figure it out. If not, it's a wrap. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And she said she had started to, you know, think about it and she talked to her manager about getting time off, come out here in I think August or something like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, what's the actual plan? And she said she has to talk to her manager tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, cool, good. I'm happy something is finally happening. So she's planning to come out here and I'm like, cool, all right, because I have to go to this wedding and I would love for you to come to the wedding with me. Then the following day comes and I ask her like, hey, what's the deal? What did the manager say? Oh, I didn't talk to the manager for whatever reason. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, that was the last straw. So I guess we're done because I've been putting up with this pattern for long enough and it's obviously not gonna take me anywhere or take us anywhere. So let's just stop. You're not prioritizing me. So let's just stop because I don't like how this feels. I really don't like how it feels. Again, you know her pattern. When there's an aftermath, she apologizes and tries her best to keep things intact. This began like a phase of her trying to convince me to let her come out here to see me. It felt like a while where she was every day like being more affectionate than she was before, being more attentive than she was before, showing more love than she was before. Hey, you know, I'm looking at tickets and I found these tickets for these days. I'm ready to buy them. You just have to tell me I can come. And I'm like, no, because I'm over it now. Like we had this time and now I don't know if I want you to come anymore. So this is days, just being the sweetest girl ever, trying to convince me that she should come. We've given this a very good try. I put up with a lot of shit, nothing changes. So no, don't even waste your money at this point. I thought at the time we were way too broken to ever last. Because remember from Texas, I thought we had an expiration date, right? I also was doing this for her. I'm like, don't waste your money and don't come out here and get your feelings mixed up or caught up because I don't know where I'm gonna be. I don't know how I'm gonna be around you. I don't know if I'm gonna be the loving boyfriend that you left when you were crying. Because of all the stuff you put me through, I'm not sure I'm gonna feel the same when you get here. So I'd rather you not spend your money and risk it. Around this time, that's when the other video with me and the Asian girl came out. Again, me and Kirsten are broken up at this time. We're broken up. So me and the Asian girl make a video and we're out in Santa Monica and there wasn't much to do. So we went to the pier and played air hockey. I'm just like, okay, let's get this video shot. Me and the girl we have nothing going on. There's nothing. We're not messing around behind the scenes. Me and the girl film the video. We play air hockey. We walk around Santa Monica. We do whatever else we do. And then she sees the video and she hits me up like, oh, hey, like this felt like a you to me. How could you play air hockey with this girl? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, damn, I did do that. I wasn't thinking at the time I'm gonna play air hockey with this girl to hurt you. I was thinking it's time for us to move on and we're in Santa Monica and I want to play air hockey. but I can see how she took it that way. And again, the other videos I told her about, because we were together, this time we were not. Somehow, we still keep talking, right? And somehow she convinces me to hear her out and like consider her coming to LA is a good idea. But I'm still on the fence. I'm still very much on the fence, and there's a ticking clock now because her ticket prices are only gonna go up with the time. So it's like I have to make a decision right now. I'm 60-40 some days, I'm 50-50 some days, I'm 51-50 some days. And it was tough, man. It was very tough for me to decide what I wanted because I did want her. Physically, for sure, I wanted her. Part of me wanted her emotionally. And part of me thought like, damn, let's work on it. But I'd already been through so much of that and I saw that it didn't pan out, you know? So I'm like, what's my motivation for working on something if every time I tried to work on something, it blew up in my face? It was really tough because I started to warm up to her. And I started to be sweet again. I'm sure I gave the impression that I was gonna say, yeah, come. But when decision day came, I told her, you know what, don't come out. I'd rather you not waste your money because I don't know how I'm gonna be. I am feeling you right now, but I don't know if that's gonna change. I don't know if I'm gonna see a story with you and a guy and it's gonna piss me off. I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know for you to spend the amount of money you're about to spend to come out here and stay. I would definitely, you know, have sex with you. We'll definitely be physical. But I don't see you as just that, so I'm not gonna treat you as just that. I'd rather you not come out here. Looking back on that, I made a decision for her, which was wrong. That wasn't my place to make that decision. I should have let her make that decision. And this is something I told her in one of our last text messages. After this, she started to be super cold, withdrawn, like didn't respond to me, would leave me on scene, would reply with 1 word, 2 words, sometimes just, again, leaving me on scene, not saying anything. She went from the sweet girl trying to convince me she should come to like, it felt like I was talking to a guy a lot of the time, or a brick wall. Her words, she was broken by it, right? Didn't feel the same. And I understood that. Something in me switched up because I was like, damn, I messed up. Like, she should be out here right now. So I think a week later, after going through whatever I went through, because it was hard for me to make that choice and it was very, very internally conflicting. After that, I decided, you know what, she should come out here. So I'm thinking there's still time. And I'm like, you know what, I think you should come out. And she's just a different person at that point. She's like, what? Huh? This girl who was begging to see me was now like confused that I wanted her to come see me within a week. She was confused. She just felt different, you know? She said she felt different. I don't know how else to explain it. Apparently she had made plans to go to Norway with that same time frame that she was gonna come see me with her friends. She was gonna go out to Norway and a bunch of parties and clubs. You know how that goes. She did not end up coming out here, obviously. Somehow, I don't know how, like we ended up back on a sort of decent note. And there was this fan who emailed me. He happens to be in the country that she's from. He's like, hey dude, you should come out here and stay for free. Like, I'd love to film some videos with you. You can come stay for free. You can stay as long as you want. And I'm like, oh, cool. The universe wants us to be together, right? So I tell her about this. I'm like, look, you don't even have to come out here. I'll come out there now, you know? I'll come out there. Don't worry about paying for anything. I'll come out there. And I was gonna help pay for her ticket anyway if she came out here, but I'm like, I'll come out there. I'll come see you. And she's like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't come out here. I'm like, oh, word? Word? So she's still being super cold to me. Even though we're talking, she's still being cold, but she's being super active on her Instagram. So it's a very confusing time. So I kept my distance. And this was one of the biggest problems. My grandma, a woman I call my grandma because she raised me like my grandma when I was little. My best friend's grandma, she passed away. And I was grieving very publicly on Instagram. And even though me and Kirsten weren't really talking, she found it in herself to try to console me. She sent me a message after not talking to me for I think some weeks or some days, I'm sorry, to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. If you need anything, you know what I mean, let me know. And I told her, like, you know what, it would be nice to FaceTime you because you're, as crazy as it sounds and as messed up as we are, you're probably the closest person to me right now. So it would be nice to FaceTime you. And she's like, okay, I'm working now, but tomorrow, we'll FaceTime. I'm so sorry, I hope you feel better, you know, sending love. So tomorrow comes and I'm trying to FaceTime her and she sees them and she leaves me on scene. And I'm just very confused. I'm trying to reach out to this person who offered their support after I just lost my grandma. And she's now ignoring me. She's leaving me on scene. She's lying. She's not keeping her word to be there. So I'm going through a lot of emotions. I'm confused as to why you would offer your support if you were not gonna give it, especially now. Like, what kind of human being does that? What kind of human being says, hey, I'm so sorry, I'll be there for you if you need me, Something as little as a FaceTime, right? You're 24 hours in your day. You couldn't take 5 minutes out of that day to do what you said you, not what I asked you to do what you offered after my grandma died? So at that point, there was no more there was no more repairing anything, right? This person is an asshole. There's no repairing it with this person. I don't remember the message. I'm not gonna show it. I sent her a long text talking about how I felt about everything, the guys, the prioritizing everything. And some of the last things I said, you know, I think I told her I'm done. Like, what kind of asshole person does that? That's asshole behavior. Who does that? And on top of that, like in the midst of this, I was posting before my grandma, or either I forget. I think after she passed away, I posted some little stupid quizzes on Instagram, right? Like, I don't know, who would win, Batman, Superman, or Alan, or something. I don't know, something stupid like that. So even though I had sent her messages asking her things, she ignored those things, but then would reply to my Instagram quiz. But then when I asked her, like, hey, how come you weren't able to FaceTime me? She would say things like, oh, I was too busy, or oh, I was walking to the train, or oh, it was morning time here, or oh, just some bullshit. When there's proof that you were just on you took my quiz, you clown. Like, what are you talking about? Again, I'm over it. You're an asshole. You're a bad person. Who does that? Who does that? I'm over it. I'm deleting everything she sends me because she's trying to be sweet again. Hey, hon. Hey, babe. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I miss you. I'm here with my friends and it's making me think of you a lot. When prior days, not even a day or two, she was the coldest human being on earth. Now you miss me? Now you love me again? Now you're sweet? No. I call her out. I'm like, who are you? You can't tell me that you miss me, you're thinking about me when you literally ignored me after my grandma died. You can't be both of those things. You're the asshole or you're not. Not to mention, after we were separate for a while and like officially separate for a while, she unblocked the guy who she secretly had sex with and lied about. She unblocked him. And then they started following each other again. And then when I'd asked her about that, she said, well, I didn't follow him, he followed me. That was her defense for it, right? But again, I don't know what you're thinking about to try to say that, because he could not follow you if you didn't think of him first to unblock him. You get what I'm saying? That again, that's just more confirmation that this girl was not what I thought. She was what I thought she was, because I started to think of what she really was toward the end of it. But you can't tell me you miss me and you care about me and you love me when you've like followed this guy back who was one of the primary reasons for why we fell out in the first place. You can't tell me you care about me, miss me, and love me when you ignored me after my grandma passed away. You can't tell me you love me after you've lied to me about all those things. You can't tell me you love me after you've been this cold. You just can't do that. You can't be both. I'm feeling like you're intentionally doing this. You're intentionally being an asshole. So, f you. And peace out. I think we had talked one or two more times. I don't know how, but I was pretty much over it. I don't know how we ended up talking. But one of the conversations, she was telling me about how she was out, and I guess, you know, her town is small. So she ran into her ex-boyfriend, and then she was drunk, and then he was drunk, and the ex-boyfriend told her, like, oh my God, you know, you're such a whore, you're such a slut, you're a bad person, you're an asshole. And in my mind, I'm like, well, she told me how she was crying about it. And she was crying because he told her these things. She like helped him find his girlfriend at the time. Some nonsense, I don't know, whatever. Just more confirmation that she was keeping in touch with her ex-boyfriend more than she let on, you know? And she had feelings for him enough to be crying over him. Last thing I remember saying to her was something about me giving her a heads up about the Kiss video, the blonde girl. And then I asked her, I'm like, it doesn't bother you that I'm gonna post this video? And she's like, oh no, I'm too tired to be bothered. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. I figured you wouldn't be bothered, you know, since you are still attached to your ex-boyfriend and you probably were the whole time. It makes sense that you wouldn't care about something like this. I'm not being salty, I'm being honest. I remember briefly reading, just because I cried over him, she's probably gonna say just because I cried over him doesn't mean I still care about him. Bullshit. I deleted it. It was just too much stupidity for me to handle at the time. I was so over it. It was too stupid. Did she lie? For sure. Was she being an asshole? For sure. Was she cheating? Most likely. I believe so, even though it was never confirmed and it can't be confirmed. I mean, she knows in her heart what she did. She knows. I don't have to know. There are patterns and behaviors that are when they're present, You don't need confirmation to know that somebody's doing something. For example, you don't need to see a person at a KKK rally to know they're racist. 5 things I want you to learn from my breakup. 1, don't ignore red flags. I listed, I think, 3 to 5 pretty obvious ones, and those are not even the only ones that popped up. Don't ignore them. I mean, maybe one doesn't mean run for the hills, depending on the one it is. But when they start popping up like that, they're there for a reason. No matter how attractive the girl is or how sweet she seems, pay attention to the red flags. Number 2, just because she's hot doesn't mean she's a decent person. Psychology, they call it the halo effect. If you see somebody attractive, you automatically think that they're a good person, smart, nice, whatever. It's a psychological, I think it's a cognitive bias. It's a problem in our brain that we have. Just because the person is attractive does not mean they're a good person. I fully thought she was a good person. I fully saw a future with this girl. I fully thought she was like, I know nobody's perfect, but perfect for me. You know, I thought she was, until I saw her true colors start to slowly come out. Again, I don't think a good person offers their consolement to you when you lost your grandma and then ghosts you. I don't think a good person does that. Maybe that's just me. Number three, you need to have boundaries and not compromise on them. I compromised my boundaries way too many times, which is why this whole thing is on me, not on her, because I was blinded by something. It wasn't sex, because I can get that. I was blinded by something, whatever it was. But you need to have your boundaries and don't compromise on them. Number 4, you might not agree with this, but I've seen it be true in every situation. You need to be cautious of girls who are comfortable with a lot of their guy friends, or even be cautious with girls who have a lot of guy friends. It might sound crazy. I don't care if it sounds crazy. It's in my experience. I'm not saying be jealous. I'm saying be cautious. I'm saying take note in your mind of these girls who have to be around all these guys to be having a good time and will defend and will feel attacked if that comes into question, even if they're wrong. The guy's straight and the girl is attractive, he's more than likely gonna wanna be more than friends with her. In the beginning, guys used to hit on her all the time because she's attractive as hell, so guys are gonna hit on her. And I literally would watch it happen and be like, oh, thanks, man, yeah, she is really hot, because you're complimenting my taste for one, and she's hot. Of course she's gonna get hit on. That's never the problem. That was never the problem. The problem was her flirting and being comfortable with other guys. So don't trip out if guys hit on your girl. Trip out if your girl is too comfortable with other guys. That's the problem. Number 5, don't assume you know better for someone than that someone knows for themselves. This was the mistake I made when I told her not to come back to LA, which if I did tell her to come back, it could be a different story right now. I don't think it would be. It could be though. We could have worked it out. I, again, highly doubt we would have because her patterns, but now I don't know, right? And now I have to question whether or not it would have worked out. I'm pretty sure it would not have. Point is, don't make decisions for people and assume you know better for them in their life than they are telling you they know for themselves. It could have been great. It could have been more traumatizing. Either way, I'm never gonna know because I made that decision for her. And I'm okay with how it turned out, but I would have done that differently. Even though I thought I had her best interest in mind, I still should not have made that decision for her. Do I regret it? Sometimes, some parts of it. Did it affect me mentally? For sure, majorly so. Am I still going to the country? Most likely, because I got a free stay. And if you want to invite me to your country for a free stay, I'm coming to your country too. I did hate her. I don't hate her now. I hate that I wasted so much time and I knew better. I hate that. I hate that we literally could have had an amazing future together. Like, I don't believe in marriage. I used to not believe in having kids, but like I could have saw myself with her forever, as corny as that sounds, and with a little mixed Danish black basketball, ping pong, air hockey playing baby. Who doesn't want that? Like a little Allen running around? What a beast. Yeah, but I hated that we wasted so much time. I kept going back to it, and it was like peeling a Band-Aid off piece by piece and then putting it back on and then peeling it off smaller piece by smaller piece, when what I should have done was just rip the damn thing off. So I hated that, and I hated myself for that, which is hard to admit, but it's the truth. I've recorded this video multiple times, right? I'm only posting it now because I'm finally ready to post it without any kind of emotional attachment, and I'm over the girl totally. Haven't talked to her for a month or two, and I think a day ago, we hadn't talked probably since like August. So she DMs me and asks me, oh, hey, why'd you take the videos down? Blah, 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 or hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you? As if nothing was wrong. She hits me up as if nothing was wrong and asked me about the videos. And I'm like, why are you hitting me up? What happened? Like, is your current boyfriend asking you to take the videos down or remove the videos? Like, why are you hitting me up right now? Because we don't talk. I'm not gonna be one of your ex-boyfriends you get to keep up with, is something I told her before. But you can't just, like, it threw me off that she hit me up as if nothing happened and she did nothing wrong. It's like, imagine somebody killing your best friend, right? and just hitting you up every once in a while. Like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you? Hey, how you doing? Are you good? No. You scarred me and left me with emotional damage. Don't hit me up and just act like things are okay, especially when you can't own up to your shit and apologize like a normal human being, which you can't do because in your brain, you've never done anything wrong. Last thing I was saying was pretty much, it had been a long time. We hadn't spoken, and it was clear to me we were not gonna speak, right? One of her patterns was that she liked to keep in touch with her exes. She communicated that when people break up, she doesn't see a reason why they would have to stop talking. Like for us, for example, we were talking about what was gonna happen if we, we're not gonna decide to be together anymore. She was like, well, I wouldn't want us to say, okay, bye, have a nice life. But I'm wired differently. If we're exes and we're done, I'm not gonna keep in touch with you because we were never friends in the first place, right? So this is her pattern. This is the same thing she probably did with the ex who she was crying over. When she got with me, she didn't want to say bye to him either. So therefore she kept in touch with him, secretly or otherwise. But I'm not that kind of person. So we hadn't talked for a month or 2 months or something like that. And out of nowhere, she DMs me. These are the only messages or anything that I'll show just because I don't want to relive any of that shit. She hits me up saying, hi, how are you? First of all, why are you asking how I am? Like everything's okay. That's not okay. You deleted one of our videos, question mark. Question mark, what is this about? Does your new guy want you to take the videos down or something? I'm gonna do that soon, don't sweat it. Because I was planning to do that soon anyway. And it wasn't coming from a place of like, I'm upset if you have a new dude. People move on, I get that. So if there's a guy who sees you on my channel and wants you to take the videos down, I could understand that. She then says, no, I was watching them the other day and saw one is missing. So you took it down already? Why are you seeing everything so negative? I'm just asking you a question, smirky face. And remember that this is literally 4 or 5 days ago, guys. Me and her stopped talking officially, I think, end of August. Maybe the end of August or beginning of September. So I tell her, yes, I did take the video down. I don't think I see anything negative. I'm not sure what you're reading into that, but okay. To which she goes, okay, this is another pattern. It was like baiting me into something to get emotionally invested, and I'm not having that. I'm not gonna be one of the exes you get to secretly stay attached to, even if you have someone else, which she probably has somebody else. I don't think she's the type of person to ever be without a guy in her life, whether officially or unofficially. So you can't just hit me up and act like things are cool if you're missing me or us or whatever. You threw us in the trash, which she did. Rightfully so. It was the right thing to do. So take it easy, player. And then she goes, oh shit, now who's reading too much into a question, LOL. So she's playing games. You get what I'm saying? When I said before how when she ghosted me after my grandma passed away, how I thought that she was intentionally being an asshole. This kind of proves it. And I go, yeah, hi, sure, bye, miss, because it's that ridiculous to me in my brain. But then the part of me that just wants to throw stuff in people's faces, it's hard to fight, guys. It's hard. It's a hard part of me to fight. So I'm like, nah, hold up, wait. What? You hit me up after like 2 months saying hi, what's up, and asking about a video of us and say that I'm reading into me thinking that you hitting me up after this amount of time is you missing me or us? Even after you told me you were watching our video, right? You're saying that you did not hit me up out of the blue because you missed me or us, even though you hit me up because you were watching our videos. Okay, cool, that makes sense. And then I go, sometimes I'm not sure you hear yourself or think things all the way through because I am not sure she does. But hey, whatever you got to say to feel good about it. So again, I think whatever you got to say to feel good about it, right? So again, this block was me showing her something that made her feel uncomfortable. And again, like I told you about her defense mechanism, she had to then throw something in your face to get it off of her. This is exactly what we were talking about. And this was months ago that these patterns were emerging. This literally happened 4 days ago. So this is her pattern. There's no surprise. So that's why I say, but hey, whatever you got to say to feel good about it, because that's what she has to say to feel good about what she's feeling and when she's in the wrong. She has to make it a joke and laugh about it, because otherwise she has to admit that, oh yeah, I did miss you. Now I feel stupid for hitting you up. Again, like I don't hate this person, but like, who are you trying to bullshit? You can't hit me up after months of us not talking and clearly being over, like we're done. So months go by, and then out of the blue, you hit me up and you tell me, hey, how are you? Did you delete one of our videos? And when I ask why, you tell me because you were watching our videos randomly out of the blue. And then when I call you out on not being able to do that just because you miss me now, and your response is, oh, LOL, who's assuming things now? Why are you assuming I miss you? Because you just hit me up after 2 months saying that you were watching videos of us and asking why one was missing. That's why. So I don't hate the girl. This just highlights the things that I ignored in the relationship and how deeply ingrained they are in her brain that it's become subconscious, and she probably doesn't even know she's doing it. So I then say the videos are all down now, which I wasn't gonna take them down right then and there, but at that point I'm just like, I don't want you hitting me up. So the videos are all down. I'm not expecting any more messages. Again, bye, miss. I hope you're happy, honestly, because I do. Again, don't hate her. Don't want to block her on Instagram. We've been there, done that. I just don't. It might get to that point because sometimes when I search certain things that start with her name's letter, it comes up, and I just don't want to see her name. So who knows? I don't know, man. But again, this video was a long time coming. It took me a long time to record and post it, obviously, because it was very emotionally charged. I'm not emotionally into it anymore. You know what I mean? I'm over it. I honestly am. I honestly want her to be happy and figure out who she is as a person. Part of me thought like she could work on herself as a person and maybe somewhere in the future we could be together. That's not possible. That's not ever gonna happen. So yeah, guys, I hope you learn from my mistakes, and sorry I've been gone so long. I'm planning on coming back with more content more regularly. So I'll be seeing you guys soon. You are loved and appreciated. Peace.
Alan!